everyone, welcome back to my series of Celebrating You. This is a six-part series about celebrating the essence of who you are, the unique you that you bring into the world. If you haven't heard my first three parts, go back, pause this one, go back and listen to those three first, and then come back to this one. Um, Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about doing this series. I think it's one of the most important thing about the human beings and what we bring into the world. I am a licensed psychotherapist. My name is Sarah. My job and my passion and my career is about helping others because I do feel that we are such unique, beautiful human beings, each and every one of us, that we need to cultivate and celebrate who we are. In my first three series, we talked about the number one thing. It's the foundation of who you are. It's the most important thing about yourself. It's you. It's accepting yourself, accepting you just the way you are, molding, shaping, maturing, growing, adapting, but never ever changing. You will hear me say that a million and one times. The second part we were talking about is choosing and in allowing the intimate partner into your life, or the lifelong partner into your life that is in line with who you are, that doesn't go against every grain of your being. The third part was choosing the career, and then also choosing the environment of where you work. This section will be about our families, and this is not about our family like our children and our partners. This is more about your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, very, very close family members, family friends who are almost like family members. Um, we Those are all very, very important parts of our lives, and those, in order for us to be whole, these parts of our lives have to be whole and stable. And so sometimes there are going to be decisions in our lives where we're going to have to stop and say, it might be time to reevaluate certain relationships in our lives. Okay, I'm not going to be able to talk about all of the destructive dynamics. I'm not going to be talking about one side of the extreme where the dynamics are so destructive that you might have to rethink about your or keeping the relationship. I'm also not going to be talking about the other side of the extreme where everything is perfect, which I don't know if that happens. I don't know if there's real families out there where everything is perfect. If somebody said that to you, I've got to have to meet them because I haven't met that person yet. We're going to talk about more like day-to-day things, right? So by the age of about 25, 20, 30, I don't know, mid-20s, you kind of figured your family out, right? You've born and raised and grew up with your brothers, sisters, mom, dads. By now, you either figured it out, or you're about to figure it out, or you kind of figured out how to be okay with each other, right? Then enter in your family's significant others. Whether it be your mom got divorced, your parents got divorced, both of them bring the significant other, right? Your sisters, brothers get married, they bring their significant other in. All of a sudden, you're thinking, I just figured this thing out. Now all these new family members are coming in. Now I have to figure that out. Yes, you do. From personal experiences and from professional experiences, all these newcomers that are coming into your family, try for 1 second to remember that they are coming into a foreign territory. They don't know where they're coming into. They're scared oftentimes, right? Try to remember that. And if your family dynamic is important to you, if your family relationships, your brothers, your sisters, your moms, your dads, if those relationships are important to you, sometimes first cousins, sometimes uncles, aunts, if those relationships are important to you, you might want to invest your time into welcoming whoever their partner in life is. I can promise you that for sure, that if you take the extra time at the beginning to make that person feel welcome and wanted, it will pay in huge dividends. It will make the next decade of your life a whole lot easier, next several decades of your life a lot easier. You're gonna keep that relationship with your brother or sister intact. You got to invest into their significant other. You want to keep a relationship with your mom and dad solid. You got to invest into the relationship of the significant other that they're gonna bring into this family. Same thing goes into with cousins, uncles, aunts, or not your family, but those who are like family, right? So invest into that. Take the time to welcome them. Take the time to make them feel appreciated, welcomed, and understood. Because remember, you're in this family for however many years. You guys know each other. You guys understand each other. By just looking at each other. You have your own personal internal jokes that you guys all know and get. That other person might not be that way. That those jokes that you make and are extremely funny have some meaning and understanding to you. It doesn't have the same understanding and meaning to that other person. You might want to take the time to explain it to them, what the joke is about. It's because sometimes that could be personal, right? Maybe personal to that specific person. You never know what we say, how it may affect the other person, right? You know how it will affect your brother and sister because, hello, you grew up in the same household. You may know how it may affect your mom, your dad, but you may not know how it affects their significant other. So having said that, invest into that. However, there are times when we're going to do our best to make these people feel welcome. We're going to invest our time. We're going to be kind. We're going to extend ourselves. We're going to invite them. We're going to spend time with them, trying to make sure we understand them and build that foundation with them. And all fails. It still fails. When that happens, try your best to have a conversation. We are grown adults after all. We should be able to have a decent conversation, trying to understand our differences. Most conflict, I would actually go as far as say 90% of conflict is a misunderstanding. So when you want to resolve what I call conflict resolution, there are 3 things to remember. When you're going in to resolve the conflict, make sure every single word that comes out of your mouth is not going to put the other person on the defensive. Don't go in to win. You might win that argument, that discussion. You will not. I promise you, you will not win that relationship, right? Don't go in with blaming anybody. Do not, if you're going to start with blame, if you're going to start with proving your point, if you're going to walk in with winning, you might as well not even do that. Not even do that discussion. There are several things I do when I walk into any meeting, whether it's work-related meeting, family meeting, my children. My children are right there. They're listening it all. Before they're listening to this video, I actually had to retape this video 5 times because every time one of them either called me, I forgot to put the phone on the do not disturb. One of them came out to tell me he's clogged the toilet. And I had to stop my video. They brought in shopping and all kinds of things. So whatever meetings that I'm walking into, especially with my children, I walk in with an agenda and the things I'm willing to 100% give up on. When I have that list, I already know whatever it is that they're going to throw at me, I already know whether or not I can say, okay, I'm backing off on this. I'm willing to give this up. Or other things that I know for sure I'm not willing to give up. I will know what it is that I'm not willing to give up on. I will come up with an alternative. So if I'm saying, example, I'm not willing to give up on a curfew, right? So I'm going to say, my daughter is smiling because I'm not willing to give up on curfew. You got to be home by 10 o'clock. And I'm not going to give up on that. But I can tell you, look, if once a week, I'm okay with 10:30. We got to discuss beforehand. I have to know where your location is. You have to turn your location on the phone on. So have a list of non-compromisables, those that you're not willing to compromise on. Have a plan B for them and have a list of things that you're totally willing to compromise on. If you don't have something to compromise on, don't go into that meeting. That meeting is not going to end well. So remember 3 things: no blame, going into compromise, and you're not winning that argument. The last thing I want you to remember when you're going into conflict resolution is I statements, right? I feel hurt. I feel misunderstood. I feel neglected and stuff like that. Never "you make me feel." Now, granted, I statements don't allow you to say anything. Doesn't mean I feel like you're stupid. Just because you're starting the word with I statement, the sentence with I said, doesn't mean that anything you want to say after that is okay. No. I statements are made for describing your feelings. This meeting is not about how wrong the other person is, because remember, 90% of the time, they weren't wrong. We misunderstood each other. It's all about how something made you feel, and you're going to say that in the least confrontational manner and give them a chance to explain what really happened. Having done numerous family sessions, numerous therapy sessions, numerous sessions where I was trying to navigate the conflict with families, I am telling you, 90% of all conflict is misunderstanding, which is really painful to me because I've seen families torn apart. I have seen families not talk to each other for decades. I have seen families miss each other's most important occasions, such as births of their nieces and nephews, such as marriages, really, really big occasions, because there was a misunderstanding. And remember, you're not going in there to win. You don't want to win the argument. You want to win the relationship. When you go in with that, I think most of your conflict resolutions and family dynamics will be resolved very quickly. Please tune in for my section 5, which will be about your children and how to navigate those relationships. Trust me, when they grow up, those become very tricky. And the last part would be wrapping all of the 5 parts up and kind of putting it into a nutshell. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.